Mary Nichols, an Emmy Award-winning journalist, joined KUTV News in 1991, and she currently co-anchors weekdays on 2 News This Morning and 2 News at Noon. Mary grew up in Washington and majored in English at Lewis Clark State College. She is very active in our community, serving on numerous boards and with local nonprofits. As part of her reporting on health issues, Mary got a mammogram to encourage women to get screened and, in turn, found an invasive malignant tumor. She continued this news series through her own surgery, chemo treatments, wig shopping, radiation, and long recovery. Mary and her husband Kent are the parents, tutors, coaches, and taxi drivers of twins Zachary and Mackenzie.
Some of us are really lucky to have jobs that we love, and all of these women obviously have jobs that you love. I've decided, as a leader, I'm not the boss of anything. In fact, at some point in my day, everyone in the building can tell me what to do. Everyone in the building is my boss. The producers, the floor director who's telling me which camera I'm on, they're my boss, but I'm still a leader. I'm a leader as a teammate. And I've been a teammate since I was born. But this job has provided me opportunities. And I've always wanted to meet other people. Every day I get to learn something new and meet different people, and I get to tell their stories. I love to write. So I've always wanted to be a journalist, and I'm thrilled that I get to be. I get to meet new people every day. I meet presidents, Nobel Prize winners, heroes, victims, and I have the challenge of telling their story and of doing their story justice. Lost my microphone. I love that challenge. And I don't want to be part of the story. I as a journalist, I want to tell other people's stories, not my story. So when I was asked to get a mammogram to show Utah women how easy it is to get a mammogram, a little hesitant at first because I don't want to be the story. I don't want to talk about me. And I ended up doing it because Utah, we're the second worst in the nation for getting mammograms. And they said, just show how easy it is. I'm the health reporter. I'm fit. I'm knowledgeable. It makes sense. Just do it. So we had the camera in the room. I looked right in the camera and said, if a few moments of discomfort could save my life, I'm all right with that, hoping that the story would inspire other women to get their mammograms. Well, this picture right here, that is my mammogram, and it shows invasive malignant tumor. I had no idea. I left there patting the doctor's arm saying, you'll be okay, and he knew something was wrong. And I aired the story, go get your mammograms, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, then I found out it was a much more powerful story. And the only way that story could be more powerful is to continue to share it through the rest of the cancer battle. I had to have surgery. Luckily, I had surgery right before Christmas vacation, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, right before Christmas vacation. Lucky enough to see on video the surgery, because I'm fascinated by that kind of thing. But also on the way into the operating room, the doctor said, what kind of music do you want? It's close to Christmas. Do you want Christmas music? And I said, no. And I asked for Beastie Boys. I know one song, Gotta Fight for the Right to Party. Okay? And I don't remember saying that because I was already on anesthetics. So here I am totally stoned out of my mind requesting Beastie Boys in the operating room. So that opportunity came up because of the job I have. But I thought it's a great opportunity to show this. I went home for vacation and talked with family and tried to make it a strong case to share my story. And we shared the story. I came back, it was the most stressful thing I'd ever done, to do a story about me and have the doctor talk about me and have other people talk. And it was horrifying. In fact, I had Shauna Lake voice it because I didn't want to talk about me. And I ended up being the subject. But I was hoping it would have a powerful message and feeling so lucky, not lucky to have cancer, but lucky to have the opportunity to share this story and hopefully set an example. My kids buzzed my head that day because my hair was falling out in clumps. It was after my first chemo treatment. And I ended up going through 4 months of chemo and another month and a half of radiation, and I missed 4 days of work. In fact, I went home sick today, and I felt worse every day of chemo than I did today. But I took the day off because I just have a head cold. But I was born on a team. I'm a teammate. I lead by being a team player. I'm the 8th of 9. This was my oldest sister's wedding. I was the flower girl, the angry little one with the basket. But mom and dad, my dad was a telephone man, didn't make any money, and mom was raising 9 kids. 9 kids with no money. And we learned to be resourceful. We learned to be positive. We learned you're born on a team. You learn what the rules are. There's no practice. There's no tryouts. You don't get paid. You show up and you do your job to help. And our team, we always had fun. We didn't always get prizes. We didn't always win. My mom ended up, after raising 9 kids, she was the state PTA president because one of my sisters volunteered her to be on the PTA. And then she ran a youth service center for 11 years, and then she ran for office. She was a state legislator for the last 11 years of her life. And she set a huge example by being a leader. But she wasn't the boss. She wasn't a nasty woman. She was a listener. And I loved hearing these words. She was a listener. She wanted everybody to feel valued. Let's listen to everything everybody has to say, and let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with a plan. We're a team. And that's how I feel. That's how I lead as a team player. In athletics, out of those 9 kids, 6 of us have free college diplomas. 5 of us on athletic, and then the one really smart one went on academic, and she's a lawyer. But we had a great example. A woman who was strong, not by being bossy, not by being domineering, but by listening and by being an amazing leader. And we all learned from her. And I hope that I shared that with my kids. My son is now 8 inches taller than me, and I'm 6 feet tall. No, he's 6'6". So this was a Survivors at the Summit event. And my kids helped me through this event. And I was hoping to be like my mom and share that kind of passion, but also for listening. It's not a big deal. You can do hard things. And this was a really hard thing. When I was first diagnosed, I told the kids, this is going to be 30 years down the road, it's going to be like I broke my leg. Hey, remember that when you guys had to bring me stuff and let me nap? And that's what it ended up being. So hopefully, we're 5 years out now, and hopefully 25 more years, we will still be positive. This guy here, talk about positive and finding the positive. This is my dad when he was 91 years old, fell down some icy stairs, broke his wrist, bashed up his face, and my mom died 22 years ago and he remarried, but his wife's son is a doctor. Patched him up, and look at that, the Seahawks won. He was happy. Took him weeks to recover from all the cuts on his face, and his arm was okay, but he's like, well, I didn't break my hip. I didn't end up in the hospital. I'm okay. And that's the attitude we grew up with. It's find the positive. There's always something positive. Not about cancer. This is when I actually had a vertical in high school, 22-inch vertical. No, but my goal, the Olympic team came to my high school and played and put on a demonstration, and I wanted to be an Olympic volleyball player. I wanted to make the Olympic team and go to the Olympics and represent our country. And the first day of my senior year of volleyball, I threw a ball and my arm broke. Humerus snapped right here. Not funny, by the way. The humerus breaking. I was hoping I wouldn't have to explain that. But I missed the whole season, and my team went on to win the state championship without me. My little sister next to me, the one with even bigger hair than I have, she took my place, and we won state without me. And I thought, okay, I'll get in shape and get into basketball season, and somehow I'll get a college scholarship because I had these dreams. And ended up getting hit during basketball season and tearing my ACL. So wear a brace, went to a community college, got my free AA at Bellevue Community College at the time, and played basketball and volleyball. I was one of 3 white girls on the basketball team, kind of an inner city Seattle area. But I was looking at this picture. I remember all these girls. I don't remember our record. I don't remember scores. I don't remember other teams that we beat or that we played, but I remember the moments and the joy and the fun that we had. And I was a leader. As a team captain, I wasn't the boss. You do what the coach tells you to do. But I've always said, I don't just do what I'm told. I will do what I'm told, but I won't shut up and do what I'm told. You will know where I stand. But as a team, we won. I think, okay, here's this huge path. I have a goal of making the Olympic team, of getting college paid for, because we had to in our family. We didn't have money to pay for college. And the injury and not being able to do what I wanted to do, you have to find the positivity and take that path. And it's like I had this beeline of a goal, but I ended up going on a different path and going up at hills and valleys, but keep moving forward. And you have to find the positivity. You have to find the positive. In the middle of winter, all of a sudden the crocuses come up. And I took this picture. That's no filter. It was just front yard, all the dead plants in the front yard, and the crocuses are the first to come up. And I thought, that is beautiful. You don't see all the horrible. It's there, but you can find the positive. And through my whole cancer battle, I was thinking, when we first started, my husband ran a baseball business, indoor baseball facility. We had 3,500 happy baseball players. We could play baseball year-round in Utah. We lost everything. We lost our savings. We lost the kids' college fund. We borrowed from family. We borrowed from the bank. And we had fun while we were running our business. Our business partners ran out of money 6 months in. But we kept that lease. We didn't want to have to file bankruptcy. The week we were tearing up 10,000 square feet of AstroTurf, my husband said, well, you know what? At least we have our health. The kids are healthy. We're healthy. That's the week I had the mammogram. That very week is when I had the mammogram. And it's like, okay, well, no, that one's screwed. We don't have our health anymore. But we can work together. And I talk about things that are overwhelming, and that is overwhelming. Find the positive. What's positive about that? We just lost our whole business, we're way in debt, and now I have cancer. Well, let's find the positives. We have our beautiful kids. I was so thankful it wasn't them, that one of them didn't have cancer. I can't imagine the heartbreak that parents have to go through. So I was glad it was me, and not my kids or my husband. They're adorable, twins, so there's some positive, but they're twice as expensive. It's twice as hard. It's 2 at once. It's a boy and a girl. They can't even share clothes all the time. But they were little science. They got trucks. They both got dolls. They both are, and they're totally different people, but they're best friends. And you find the positives. They graduated 2 years ago now. They're sophomores at the U. But they are best friends. They competed. It was a healthy competition for grades. I got a better ACT score. It's like, and they inspired each other, but they always had each other. And yes, twins are overwhelming and hard, but they're also a blast. And it's amazing. So to have them on my side going through cancer. Am I lucky to have cancer? How do you find the positive of a cancer diagnosis? Well, I'm lucky that we caught it so early, that I had the job that had me get that mammogram. I'm lucky that we're in Utah with some great medical care. I'm lucky that we're in the era of medicine, that we're coming up with cures for cancer every week. They're discovering different kinds of cancer and different cures. The type I had wasn't even discovered 5 years before I was diagnosed. And now it's a different type of treatment. It's triple negative, so it has a different treatment than most cancers. But I was lucky that I have the care that I have. Lucky to have the chemo treatment. I talked about collateral damage. Chemo is like blowing up a city to catch 2 bad guys. And that's what ends up happening. So you go and get poisoned and hope you cheer for the chemo to work because it's doing its job. And that's I think my first chemo treatment is with one of those horrible wigs. They were so uncomfortable. And this was the last chemo treatment. It's not over. It's still a battle. But you can celebrate little steps along the way. And to have my husband there and to have the medical treatment there, I just kept thinking of how lucky I am to have the support that I had for family and for medical. I ended up having radiation as well. And you look at the technology that we have and the advancements that we have, even here in Utah, we are just so lucky. How do you find the positive in cancer? But there are so many positives. Every day I was thankful to be part of a horrible club that I never wanted to be part of. But I get to meet amazing people who are also part of that club. The gal in the pink polka dots is a Utah Highway Patrol trooper. The other gal runs the breast cancer treatment center at Intermountain, and they're both survivors. So you meet other survivors, and I have this job. People will come up and tell me, I'm a stage 4 pancreatic survivor cancer. For 12 years, I've survived pancreatic cancer. And it's like, what? But they won't come up to you and tell you. But the survivors will come up, so I get to hear these stories, going back to my telling stories and meeting. these people come up to me, and I'm so lucky to have that opportunity. I'm lucky to have these goobers as my teammates on the morning show. They really get that long blonde wig. My husband liked that one. Getting up and going to work, it's like when you kind of have the flu and you're thinking, you know what, I'll just shower and get ready and go to work and I'll feel better. I did that every day and tried to get through it. And I ended up, like I said, missing just 4 days of work. But also my job gave me this opportunity to hopefully inspire. This was at the Girl Scouts International Women event, and they gave me an award. But I got to talk to these little girls and say, you know what, you can do hard things. Chemo is hard. Cancer is hard. You can do hard things. The Race for the Cure that I've sponsored for years before being diagnosed, I get to be part of and carry the newly diagnosed sign when I was still bald. And other women have told me that that helped them say, if Mary can do it, I can do it. This is my, the Race for the Cure up in Seattle. Cute little tiny gal in the front ended up being diagnosed with a horrible cancer. She was given 6 months to live, and she lived 8 years. She battled every day. It was, what's next? What's next? It's my sister-in-law. She died in November, but she met 3 grandkids she would not have met if she didn't hang in there and say, "What? Cut my leg off. What's next? Let's go." And that's the way we just approach everything in our family. So it was great to have this in-law part of our family and inspire. But I ended up coaching volleyball. I'm trying to flip through my slides now because I'm already past the time. But as a coach, I also wanted to inspire, as an example. And I wasn't the domineering boss making people run laps. I wanted to communicate and listen to the girls and have them learn and grow. And I think I got that message across with a lot of the girls. And going through cancer and being back there and helping them get through was amazing. And then this, for me, says it all. These are my sisters. And the joy, look at the joy as we cross the finish line together. Their support for me. And not all of us are lucky to have big families, but we are all so lucky to have many positives. It's there. You can do hard things. And every day you can find positives. Please don't take a picture of me crying. I'm like the ugliest crier in the world. But you can do hard things and hopefully be, as a teammate, be a leader as a teammate. You don't have to be the boss. It's fantastic when you're the boss, like my mom was, and being the president of a university. But you can also be a leader as a team player. And I love being a team player and being one of the people that listens and inspires and tries to help others grow together. And I think that's one thing as young women and young men you can learn. And I think all of us have mentioned it so far, listening and working together and being positive. So thank you so much. Go be positive. Make positive change.